Chapter 15. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach of the spirit. A fool despiseth his father's instruction, but he that regardeth reproof is prudent. In the house of the righteous is much treasure, but in the revenues of the wicked is trouble. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of the foolish doth not so. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of the wicked is an abomination unto the Lord, but he loveth him that follow after righteousness. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way, and he that hateth reproof shall die. Hell and destruction are before the Lord. How much more then the hearts of the children of men? A scorner loveth not one that reproveth him, neither will he go unto the wise. A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. The heart of him that hath understanding seeketh knowledge, but the mouth of fools feedeth on foolishness. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he that is of a merry heart hath a continual feast. Better is little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is, than a stalled ox and hatred therewith. A wrathful man stirreth up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeaseth strife. The way of the slothful is an hedge of thorns, but the way of the righteous is made plain. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish man despiseth his mother. Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom, but a man of understanding walketh uprightly. Without counsel purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors they are established. A man hath joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season, how good is it? The way of life is above to the wise, that he may depart from hell beneath. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but he will establish the border of the widow. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord, but the words of the pure are pleasant words. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous. The light of the eyes rejoiceth the heart, and a good report maketh the bones fat. The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul, but he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. The first proverb here is probably the one that's the most quoted of all of the Proverbs. A soft answer turneth away wrath is what you hear the most often. It's the one I hear the most often. But the last part of it is, but grievous words stir up anger. Grievous words can be words that are angry or hurt. If the answer that you give is a soft answer, in other words, one that considers where the person is, what their needs are, not necessarily who's right or who's wrong here. Because in a relationship, the most important thing is usually the continuation of the relationship, and there's no point in fighting about who's right and who's wrong. People know who's right and wrong. Husbands and wives know each other, but they have positions sort of defended out staked out, to defend certain attitudes, certain things that maybe the other person doesn't know. And basically, if it's a soft answer, if you say, well, if that's the way you feel, we can go with that for a while and just see how it works out. Those are the kinds of things you can do. If somebody's trying to take advantage of you, you'll find out soon enough. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. Here's the thing again. Remember that Heavenly Father knows everything. The eyes of the Lord, verse 3, are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Heavenly Father has a way of sort of working things out. Verse 5, a fool despiseth his father's instruction, but he that regardeth reproof, he that takes value from correction, reproof, is prudent, is wise, is understanding. In the house, verse 6, in the house of the righteous is much treasure, but in the revenues of the wicked is trouble. No matter if you have somebody who is wicked, nothing they do is going to work out. It may temporarily seem to, but in the long run it won't. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, verse 7, but the heart of the fool doth not so. No knowledge from dumb people, no knowledge from unwise people. Okay? Hell and destruction, verse 11, are before the Lord. How much more than the hearts of children of men? A scorner loveth not one that reproveth him, neither will he go unto the wise. The people who are not wise people will not go to seek wise counsel from people that are, because they're going to know something. They'll be told that what they've done isn't going to get them to where they want to go, and they're going to have to be told to change their ways. And no matter how soft that answer might be to them, the very thought of changing and leaving the sin behind is very, very hard for them to accept. Most of the time they won't. Verse 16, better is little with the fear, respect, honor of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith. You're better off to have a little bit and have the Lord on your side than have great trouble and nothing but grief. Very wise. Better is a dinner of herbs. The herbs were always considered in Hebrew as bitter. Better is a dinner of bitter herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred therewith. Stalled ox might mean, we're not exactly sure what it means, would be a roast ox, where somebody had cooked a whole ox. You had this huge 1,500 pound of meat that might be delicious to you. Better is a meal of bitter herbs than all the meat that you could possibly eat if it's accompanied by hatred. Sounds pretty good to me. Sounds pretty much like the way it is. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish man despiseth his mother. Okay, usually mothers try their very best. Despising them isn't usually very wise. Mothers tend to be more loving, not always, but mothers tend to be more loving than fathers tend to, more caring, more nurturing. It's usually the way it is. Verse 22, without counsel, that is, without advice, purposes are disappointed. If you're going to do something, it's always wise to get the advice of somebody who's done it ahead of you, so that you know what you're facing. That way you can prepare for it. But in the multitude of counselors, if you have lots of advice and lots of people who've done something, your purposes are established. You can learn because multitude of people helping you can tell you everything you need to do, and their experience will make it much easier. Verse 28, the heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. Very, very common. Verse 29, the Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous. And verse 33, the fear, respect of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom. And before you get honor, you need to learn to be humble so that you can learn.